Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all right. The reason I brought you all here today was to ask you the question: do you like Michael McIntyre, the comedian, the stand-up man? The reason I asked this, I don't know. Just interested, taking an interest in your well-being. Running Man. I will not film him. You don't want to see him. Followed by a dog. There's lots of stuff going around that you can't see right here. And somebody walking it, which is nice. The man, the comedian, the guy who you see on your televisions. I've seen him twice live. Once in an arena, once in a more intimate scenario, in a room with less people in. So I've seen him up close and I've seen him far away, and both times thoroughly enjoyed him. Obviously, the more intimate up close scenario was a completely different experience, because he just basically stood there telling new jokes and just trying stuff out like you'd expect a lot of other comedians to do, whereas when you see him on the stage in the arenas, hello birdies, they're everywhere. I don't remember there being that many birds yesterday, but then yesterday was a very windy day, so I'll not remember hearing any of that. Seeing him in the arena, obviously he does his whole prancing about the stage thing, which I can understand a lot of people probably don't like. Anyway, why am I asking this? Yes, the reason I'm bringing it up is because there was the whole, there was the perception that, everybody liked Michael McIntyre, and then there was the whole thing of, everybody doesn't like Michael McIntyre. There was a lot of people who don't like him. There was that thing, I forget when it was, where Frank Skinner sort of came out. Where did he come out from? I don't know. He was like hiding in a hobbit hole, and he was like, "Excuse me, I'd just like to say something about this matter." Not that that's his voice, that was my voice doing somebody else's voice completely. He said, possibly a tweet or in public, I don't know, that, people who don't like, or comedians, I think it was comedians specifically, who don't like Michael McIntyre are just jealous of his success. Now, I've talked to a lot of new comics about, who they like, who they don't like. There's a lot of people who don't necessarily like his style of comedy. I do, that's my opinion. If somebody doesn't like a comedian, that's their opinion. It's like the whole, I don't know too much about it, but, the whole Frankie Boyle thing, and people were like, oh, he's really offensive, but people don't like it when he says these sort of things. I've not really seen any of his stand-up. I like him on that show he does. What's that? Mock of the Week? He's funny on that. I've probably seen one clip of him on YouTube, and it was probably alright. I can't really remember. I've not actively searched out any of his stuff. Maybe because, I don't know, he doesn't sort of appeal to my style of... I don't know, I've got no idea. Maybe I'll look him up and see what I think of him more in depth. But, anyway, there's that whole thing of people are getting offended by, just people on stage making funnies about possibly offensive stuff. I like how coherent I am right now. I'm making very good sense. But if you're offended, that reminds me of Steve Hughes. Either it was on the Roadshow or live at the Apollo, and he was doing that thing about, well, if you're offended, just be offended. Nothing happens when you're offended. You don't necessarily need to go and tell people. I might turn around for a bit here because it's going to get windy again up there. I learnt that yesterday. Over there, windy. Over here, fine. I'm getting out of breath. I'm forgetting to breathe, guys. I'm talking lots, and I'm not resting. Because if I stop talking, it just becomes a man pointing a camera at his face, saying nothing, and that would just be awkward. But Steve Hughes is actually quite a good one to talk about, because I've seen him maybe once or twice live at the Fringe. The first time I saw him, his show was probably 75% comedy, and then the end section was very philosophical based. And I remember me and a friend who went to see it, we were sat in a bar, I think in the underbelly, and we had a half-hour conversation, just sat there watching the world go by about the meaning of life and stuff. It was very, very deep and thought-provoking, which I think he is, or can be. I don't know. If you've seen him, you might agree. Anyway, I don't think you get that necessarily in sort of the massive arena things. It's not. You don't feel like the comedian is talking to you. There's a sort of. It's like you're watching TV, possibly. I'm going to sort of turn around again because I've walked past this guy following us behind him. I've walked past him twice in my walk for the day, today's walk. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, the thing that Frank Skinner said about, comedians who don't like Michael McIntyre are just jealous, I don't think that's right, necessarily. I'd say maybe there are some people who are jealous of his success, but that would probably be a very small percentage. I can't really talk on behalf of anyone, to be honest, I'm just speculating. I would think, if people don't like him, it's because maybe the style of comedy isn't to everybody's liking. I mean, it's fairly basic as comedy goes, it's not terribly deep and thought-provoking, which is probably why it appeals to so many people. But yeah, so there's my question to you. Do you like Michael McIntyre? Who don't you like? Just let us know, let's get a debate going. I mean, I've said that now, and probably nobody will leave us a message. If you're on Facebook, just leave a line saying what you think. If you're on YouTube, just leave a comment in that box underneath the videos. Stand there. I'm sort of talking about future happenings here, so yeah, no, do leave something, and because it's nice to say what you think. But yeah, that's all I'll talk about today. That was, I could have planned that a little bit better. So I don't actually know how to end these videos, so I'll just say goodbye, see you next time, and I'll just probably cut you off any second